Hey, friends. I hope y'all have had a marvelous friend day. The day has hopefully been amazing for you. Talk to me tonight. How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? I have a very interesting subject to discuss tonight. Last night I did not get on y'all because sis had to take care of herself. um I needed a break last night, and I'm okay with doing that. Like when I was first working on my consistency with my lives, like I literally was like having like "Ugh, I needed to do this kind of moment. But I'm okay with where I am right now. Like I needed to take a break. I was okay with taking a break. And I'm encouraging y'all. Like if you ever feel like you just need a break, take it. You have that feeling for a reason. Like I today I felt much more productive because I took a break yesterday. Um so take a break. Take a nap. I seen I can't remember her name right now. She just won a Grammy for Abbott Elementary. I can't remember her name right now, but she was just like she's looking forward to taking more naps like in the next year. Like we don't always have to work so hard, y'all. We really don't. I think, society suckers us in to working really hard in life and not having no breaks. That's not real life, y'all. Nobody does that. And if they do, they're probably sick very often. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. I ain't trying to be sick. So I took a break last night. Well, I'm back tonight. So welcome to another Free Conversations late nights. As we talk about real life things are and free. So I encourage you to engage in the conversation and engage in the discussion. Ask me questions. I will allow you to come on live with me as long as you are decent in conversation. If you get a little reckless, I will put you off. But um, I enjoy having free conversations about real life, y'all, because a lot of people don't want to talk about certain things, and I'm here for it. I'm here for the freeing conversations about life because talking for me has healed me in a lot of ways. Like talking is a way of releasing for me. Like I just can't keep things bottled up anymore because when I found the importance of sharing how I feel, and even if it was just like me just blubbering it out, the importance of sharing how I feel like healed me from a lot of things. Like you don't keep things bubbled on the inside. You want to be able to express them and gain another perspective from somebody outside of your head. Because in our head, it can sound and appear real to be real crazy. But when we get it out, it well for me anyway, it makes more sense when I get it out. So I actively practice expressing myself. One, too, because I wasn't always in a position where I was able to. I had lost my voice in some ways, not physically, like, oh, I can't talk, but I had lost my sense, desire to speak, express myself, and it had a lot to do with my trauma. So, like, I highly I always encourage people to speak their truth, um, say what you feel, and mean what you say. Um, but with respect, just respect with more respect. I appreciate the love, y'all, for the likes and shares this video also um, if you're on here. So yeah, so I'm gonna get into the subject. The conversation is for tonight. Please love the video, heart the video, tap the video. It doesn't cost anything to tap or share. So please love on me today night. So I I want to talk about, what about you? The subject is what about you, sis? And the reason why I talked about what about you, sis, tonight is because sometimes we forget about ourselves, and we gotta stop forgetting about us. Forgetting about us leaves us in it can lead us in some. some interesting spaces. Um, so culture has it where we know everything about everybody, right? Social media is the outlet where we can discover anything. Internet, we can discover anything. We can find any, almost any and everything about everybody on the internet, right? I can literally probably, if I want, I could, no, I know I can. I can literally search a county's records and find out who owns property in my county, your county. I can find a lot of stuff, a lot of places, right? Thank you for the likes, EJ. Um, so I can literally go and find information about everybody. Like I can find out where the last few addresses that you lived. Don't believe me? Try. Just type somebody's full name in the internet, and you can go find out the last places they live, or you can type in an address and it tell you who's lived there over the other past. You can go on the internet. You can find about anything, about everything about a celebrity. You can find out so much information about anybody, just about anybody on the internet, especially if they got stuff. That's why a lot of people don't like to be on the internet. They don't like A lot of people don't put their real names out there because they don't want people searching them. They just don't. But I say all of that to say, y'all, we can find so much information about everybody else. But what about us? What do we know about ourselves? What do we know about what our what we're thinking? Like, how often do you have an intrusive thought in an hour or 30 minutes? When I say intrusive thought, it's like a negative thought, something that makes you feel negative or down. Like, how often do you eat every day? What's your eating schedule? Like, are you a one meal a day kind of person, or do you not like breakfast? Can you express that to somebody? Like, I don't get down. I don't like breakfast. I don't like to eat one. I like to eat one a day. Like, um, I usually don't really get hungry until like 2 o'clock. Do you know that about yourself? Like, what do you know about yourself? Do you know um, that how your body responds when you don't drink a lot of water? Like, do you know, like, if you sit too long, what happens to your body when you sit too long? Like, do your feet swell? Do your legs ache? Do you get a headache when you don't get enough sleep? Can you look at yourself in the mirror and say, "Oh, my eyes are red. Why are my eyes red? Is it because I haven't like slept a full 8 hours in 3 days?" Um, or like, do you know yourself well enough? How well do you know yourself? Tell me in the comments, like, what can you identify about yourself to know to be true? Um, do you like eggs? Can you tell if somebody hands you a plate, a breakfast plate, and it's got hash brown, eggs, bacon, or whatever. And because somebody gave it to you, do you know yourself well enough to say, I don't like hash browns? And I'm speaking for myself. I don't like hash browns, y'all. So if somebody gives me a plate full of hash browns, I'm gonna be like, nah, I'm good. Or would you expect set that plate of hash browns just because somebody gave it to you, but you don't really care for it? So you're gonna fake a little bit like you like them because somebody gave it to you. Do you know yourself well enough to say no? I'm good on the hash browns. Don't give me hash browns. Um, and honestly, y'all, like this is a funny story about hash browns. I'm bringing up hash browns because I discovered this about myself when I got married. So when I discovered about myself is that I don't like hash browns, but every time my husband like he would go somewhere like we'll get breakfast or something, he'd be like, "You want hash browns?" And I'd be like, I don't really like them. He was like, well, you ain't tried it like this. And I was like, I'm telling you, I don't like it, but I'll try it. Or like I'll get hash browns on my meal just to try it from another place to see, just to try if I actually like it. But I didn't. I hated it. Like, so it just got to one place one day. I was just like, I'm not trying nobody else's hash browns ever again. I'm trying them ever again. Like, I'm just not doing it because I know I don't like hash browns. So nobody can force me to eat hash browns. But do you know that about yourself? Like, do you know like that you don't like certain things? Do you know that about yourself? So take some time to think about that. Like, what do you like and what do you not like? And sometimes we neglect in knowing ourselves and knowing what we like, and we still go along with what somebody else wants to do because it's them. Like we fall into the traps of what other people want, because and we forget about us. Um and that's not fair to you. So what about you? Like, what about learning yourself enough to know your boundaries, to know your limitations, to know what you like and what you don't like, and be able to express and share that with somebody else? What about you? What about you? Like, you are important, just as important as anybody else in your life. Because honestly, we live in a world that is very selfish. We live in a world that's selfish and that only likes ourselves. Like, everybody's looking out for themselves. Not everybody, literally, but we live in a selfish world. And it's important that we consider ourselves first. Have you considered yourself first, even today? Like, have you considered just doing something for you? Because most of our day is surrounded around other people, other things. Have you considered something for yourself? That's important, because if nobody else looks out for you, you got to look out for you. Y'all, like the screen, like the screen. Give me some likes. I'm new to live with especially TikTok. I'm new to the live here, so show me some love. I hope this is good for y'all. Um because I really want to help people. Like, I really want to help people, learn more about themselves. I'm all about helping people build healthier relationships with themselves and other people. And this is one way you can do that. You can literally build a healthy relationship with yourself by understanding what you like, understanding what you want out of life. Because to be honest, nobody else is going to understand that for you, because they're only thinking about themselves, right? Most often, we're thinking of ourselves when it comes to things, but not truly what we need and desire in life, right? Not truly what we need and desire in life. Like, we might have selfish ambitions when it comes to being in relationship with somebody else, but what about relationship with ourselves? Like, are you neglecting you? Are you neglecting what you need and understanding you? Because oftentimes we get in relationships with other people. I'm not just talking about intimate relationships. I'm talking about like friendships, professional business relationships, like familiar relationships, like with you and your family. I'm speaking of those type of relationships. Like, we get into relationships with those people, and we're selfish in what we want from them. But what do we need from us? Like, the only way we can be effective in regular relationships, like relationships with anyone besides, no, I'm not gonna say that. Only way we can be effective in relationship with someone else is if we're effective in relationship with ourselves. That's just what it boils down to. How effective are you in a relationship with yourself? It's a good question. If you ask yourself that question right now, what would the answer be? What would the answer be? Y'all, give me some love. Give me some likes on here, y'all. I appreciate it. So, how how effective are you in relationship with yourself? Can you answer that? Uh-oh. I'm over here looking at this. So, how effective are you in relationship with yourself? How often do you put yourself first? How often do you plan time for yourself? How often do you um, schedule yourself in your calendar? Because I can probably count a good amount of times today that somebody requested something from me. And but what request did I make for myself? To learn myself, to see what I needed, to check in with myself throughout the day. And that's important. Like, how often do you check in with yourself during the day? Like, do you check in and see how you're feeling? Like, you literally sit still and say, Portia, what do you need right now? My mouth's dry. I need more water. Water. Like, oh, I haven't eaten, so maybe I need to go eat. um, I've been on my phone all day. I've been on social media all day. I need a break. I need to go in a corner, listen to some good music, or sit in the quietness of the day and just be like, let me just be quiet and still. Let me meditate. Let me clear my mind. Let me get closer to God. Like, what is it that you tell yourself that you need? Um, is important. Like, you check in with yourself to see what it is that you need. Because when we don't take care of ourselves, we have a tendency to take out on other people. Like, if we're moody and we haven't taken time by ourselves, if we haven't like just sat up and just thought about our day, reflected about our day to see what went well, what went wrong, what I need to do different to make sure that I'm good so I can perform well. Like, we have a tendency to take that out on other people when we're not doing well. So if you're irritable, like, I find myself, like, if I've had a long day or a long week, I notice I get really irritable with my husband. And the same for him. He gets irritable too. But I get very irritable, but I don't have to take it out on him. I just have to go check myself. I need to go sit in the corner, not really, but in a room by myself, take deep breaths, figure out what I need, take care of me, so that I can have better relationships not only with myself but other people. Because how I take care of me reflects in my other relationships with other people. Um, and a lot of arguments, like, literally can be like taken care of by us taking care of ourselves. Like, me and my husband, we had a silly argument the other night about some darn pillows, y'all. Some pillowcases, y'all. But to be honest, we both were irritable. We resolved it in a matter of minutes, but we were both irritable. Yesterday, I was in a place too yesterday. That's why I said I needed rest. I needed to rest yesterday because I was a little irritable. I was very irritable. And so we were here fussing about pillowcases, about who lost a pillowcase that was on the bed because we washed all the linen and we couldn't find a pillowcase. So we over there fussing about pillowcases, but it all could have been resolved if I would have been well rested, more well rested. And um and we just found a pillowcase, y'all. But see how, like, not taking care of yourself can cause issues in relationships. Um So, what about you? I'm asking this again. What about you? What are you doing to make sure that you're good? That you know what you need, and if you don't know what you need, how you gonna tell somebody else what you need? Make that make sense. If you don't know what you need, how you gonna tell somebody else what you need, or how they should treat you, or how they should love on you, or how they should be there for you? If you don't take the moment out with yourself to say, "Man, I need a hug today. Like, it's been a rough day." But instead, sometimes our crazy selves could be like, "Man, you ain't hugged on me all day. You ain't did this to me all day. Yada, yada, yada. You ain't did this." Instead of projecting what you should be doing for yourself, like taking care of you and asking for what you need instead of like yelling at somebody because they ain't hugged you all day. So when I have long days, I go in, like, or if I'm having a meetings all day, I'm just in the office, just me by myself. Sometimes I just go and ask my husband for a hug. I literally just say, "Baby, can I have a hug?" And I respect his space and his time and his moment, when he doing whatever he doing. And I ask him for what I want instead of projecting what I'm feeling like I'm lacking. Um, because we can be lacking and expect somebody else to give us what we lacking, and that's not their job. It's our responsibility for ourselves to know what it is that we need and ask for it accordingly, or fulfill it yourselves if you can. Like, so if you know you hadn't eaten all day, like you don't go say, "Hey, why you ask me if I wanted some food?" Or like sometimes I do that, just be playing with my husband, but I don't really mean it. But if you haven't eaten all day, don't ask your spouse like, "Why you ain't cooked today?" So you in there, you watching TV, you on your phone all day, you ain't cooked. No, no. What has to happen is it says that you see that person is taking care of them. They doing what they need for them. That person might be in there on the phone and watching TV or whatever they might be doing. That's their way of taking care of them. Did you ask for a meal that day in advance? Did you ask for what you wanted or what you needed? Because you knew you was gonna be in meetings all day. You knew you was gonna be working all day, whatever it was. Did you ask that person, man, can you cook me a meal? Instead of projecting the lack of you taking care of yourself or expressing what it is that you need and saying, hey, do you mind? And that's how we take a care of ourselves, by expressing what it is and not expecting what we need on other people and projecting that on other people. That's how relationships get messy. They get so messy because we project instead of requesting. Y'all gonna like to screen for me? Y'all got any questions? I'm here to answer questions too. I'm not just here to talk. I'm here to answer questions. If you got relationship questions that you have, let me know. I'm an open book. I'll ask if you got questions about my relationship. I will ask as long as it's respectful. It's respectful and decent. Like I'm pretty open about a lot of things, but share what your requests are, your questions are. Let me know, and I'll do my best to answer 'em. I was trying to look for a device. I'm so used to having an extra device to look. I do might have my iPad, but I think it's not fully charged. But used to having another device to look and see if there's comments on somewhere else, but I don't have one right now because I'm using all of them. So, but yeah, this live is really, what about you? Sometimes, y'all, like I grew up watching everybody around me be in relationships, like not just a relationship, but multiple relationships, relationship after relationship. People in my family, or even like friends, like I seen them being in a relationship after they get out of one relationship, they get into another relationship, or they have like really close friends and then they lose that friend for some reason. Um, and because I just enjoy people so much. Like I love people. I love studying people, like studying their behaviors, psychology, sociology, that's what that is. But um and it just grew into something much more as I got in this field of social work. And I noticed that people who get into a lot of relationships, they're not taking the time to, they're so busy used to being with someone else that they forget about themselves. And when you forget about yourself, you, you don't know what you want, you don't know what you need. And knowing who you are, what you want, knowing what you need in a relationship is important. It's so important because you can't be in a healthy relationship where you're neglecting you. You're fulfilling the needs of somebody else and expecting to fulfill the needs of you, but you don't even know what you want. And I had to figure out, like, why are people getting in multiple relationships? Like, see family members, like relationship after relationship, ain't no break. Like, hey, did you have this one on standby? Like, did you meet this one before the other one left? Like, ain't no breath in between you and there was another one. Um, And I seen the mistakes that people made in relationships, and I didn't want to make those mistakes. Granted, I did make some mistakes, a lot of mistakes. I did. I really did. a lot of mistakes, but I learned from them. I didn't allow my mistakes to be my failures. I allowed them to be learning experiences. Um, and so seeing so many people out of interrelationships, I study people relationships, y'all. Like I might know your business, but I ain't gonna tell everybody else. I'm just gonna keep that information myself because I'm learning from even I don't not only do I learn from my experiences, I learn from other people's experiences too, which is important. I watch how they move in relationships. I take what I need, and that's just been my way of life. Like I take what I need. Oh, I like that. I don't like that. They can have that. But I really study people and their relationships for so many years, and I took what I needed, and I still do. I still see people, relationships, and I study and I watch them, and I learn from them. And it's important for me because even in my current relationship, even though I've been married for almost 12 years, and we're still growing. We're not the same people we were 12 years ago. We're not the same people that we were 12 years ago. So us growing and evolving um is important, and I have to keep picking up tools. Got to keep picking up skill, and I have to also remember me. I have to remember me, consider me, knowing actively knowing what I need, actively knowing what I don't need or I don't want, um, or what I do like. It's important because if I take care of me, I can take care of the person I'm in relationship with and our relationship. Um, because I'm doing my part, and it's that other party's responsibility to do their part too, of course. So it has to be reciprocated, and I can't project what I want on them. I have to ask what I want, but that takes me being by myself, takes me knowing what I want, takes me understanding what it is that I need, and if I can fulfill it for myself, I will. But if I need it from someone else, I know how to communicate that, and that's important. That's so important. So that's what I have tonight. Y'all got any questions for me? I want to answer them if you do have them. I really want to answer and I want to be able to answer, and don't be ashamed at all to ask me questions. Don't be ashamed at all. Um, but I have a book club that's starting this weekend. Y'all, I love reading. I'm trying to get back to that. So I'm inviting those we're gonna read this Tab's book, Feeding the Soul. You can tap the link in the bio or in link in the feed, and you can join the club. That's how you will get the information. You can fill out the form. But yeah, so we start that this Saturday. So you still have time to get the book. What is it? You can go to a local bookstore and get it if you can't get it through Amazon. But yes, so you can get that, and you can also get my book from greenlifees.com in the link in the bio. This is my memoir about my life, y'all. I'm so transparent in this book. It's ridiculous. You learn a lot about me. If you, I used to have to say, y'all really don't know me, but if you read this book, you'll know me. So, um, there's a lot that I should share in there, especially about my past relationships, my past trauma, um, just how I mishandle relationships with myself, especially. So, read that book if you have not already. Get the book, read the book. And I'm offering my coaching services are open again. So the link in the bio again. You can go on my website. You can scroll up. You can schedule an appointment or a free consult with me. If you have any questions, I'm open to doing it. I do individuals, families, couples. Um, so reach out to me. Yeah, that's what I have for tonight, y'all. So I'm super excited. Like I have free conversations live that I do during the daytime. Well, not really the daytime, but next week we're gonna start a new series. It's free. This is free conversations late night, but next week we're gonna start a new series for free conversations in general, and I'll be streaming on YouTube. So you can find me MRSPG TV or Portia Green. You can find me on there, and I'll be streaming there or in our Facebook group, which is free. The acronym free, so dots in between free, and so you can find me there. I love to have you. Share this live with somebody. Well, they might not be able to see it after. What's on TikTok won't be able to see it, but other people will. So remember, y'all, I love you. Take care of you. Don't forget about you. Okay. If you need to go back and watch this video, you can find it on my YouTube channel or my Instagram page. Go back and find it on YouTube. You can find it. Again, my YouTube is MRSPGTV, or you can find it, I think it's under Portia Green. So look for my name or MRSPGTV. You can find it there. So go back and watch it. Go back and reshare it with somebody. Um, you need to hear it again, listen to it again. All right. So I'm done for tonight, y'all. So remember to be free. Don't allow anything or anyone to keep you from living the life that you desire and God purpose you to live. I love y'all. Have a good night, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.